Today is Sunday, September 8th. We're on Grayton Beach. The sun is up. Sunrise is what, 6:25 now? It's getting a little later. Mm-hmm. Our good friend, well, you guys just met, kind of.
Yeah, we met before, though.
Yeah.
But
our spirits have met.
We're still brothers. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. A couple of skinny boys on my right and my left.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Zach Sharp, here to talk about things
I know about.
Yeah, health related. He's pretty well versed in the Dr. Kruse science mumbo jumbo that I've been into for the last year. So, all things supplements we can discuss. He can explain pretty much anything that I failed to explain or remember. There was a truck in the shot.
There's a lot of trucks in the shots. It's okay. Well, it's good that you know a lot about Dr. Kruse because I've been slacking on his stuff lately. Mm-hmm. And I've been doubling down on Joe Dispenza.
Oh, so that's a good one to double down on.
Yeah.
That's...
Because
I tripled down on it.
Triple?
I
Quadruple?
When I'm working, like, at least 6 hours, I listen to the same 3 interviews. Mm-hmm. And then I listen to it when I sleep, too. I sleep with airplane mode on, but
Perfect.
I listen to it.
Which ones do you listen to?
So, it's the podcast with Brian Rose.
On London Real.
Mm-hmm. He did one with, do you remember Drama from, like, the Fantasy Factory? He has a podcast now called Short Story Long. He was on there. Aubrey Marcus, which he is the founder on it. Yep. So he was on that one. Mm-hmm. So those 3 are the ones that I just listen to on repeat. Mm-hmm. It's the same message. And I go to YouTube and listen to all that. But
his message is consistent. And I think if you listen to one good podcast, you're going to know, like, the big takeaway. You've been listening to Dispenza.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite interview that he's done is Impact Theory. If you're familiar with that, it's the main guy. He's the CEO of Quest.
Okay.
The Quest bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Quest Nutrition. Mm-hmm. They had like the biggest growth of any company in like the last couple of years, of any health food company for sure. He just exploded, and they have like a crazy percentage of the market share. And he's very into like all things self-development and self-improvement, and it's cool to see. You get everything that someone that's made $1 billion company from nothing, like, share his secrets. And not only that, but like him interview people and like further his own learning. And that's kind of when you realize that like you're never really there. Like even the guy that's at the very top, like he's still learning stuff from someone like Dispenza.
Right.
Which is really cool. And he's also like an excellent interviewer. So you get to see someone that's just really good at interviewing, like in an hour, 30 minutes, however long, just getting somebody's life work and just like taking the important bits that he can apply to his own life. Yeah. And that's a really cool thing that repeats itself every week when he does his show. Just, it's really good information. It's really interesting.
Wait, so what podcast is that, or is it
Impact Theory?
Impact Theory
is the name.
Okay. Too bad the Quest bars don't taste too good.
He did a good job though, man. They're not bad.
I've eaten more than my share
of Quest bars.
Yeah, they strike me as like survival rations.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the food that I eat,
it's
like, okay, if I have nothing else, I'll eat this.
You'll eat a Quest bar.
Yeah.
It's targeted at the keto people for sure. There's a lot of like sugar, alcohol in there, so you kind of get that like artificial sweetness that you get from like gum. You can kind of tell like this is not sugar, but it's like it's meant to trick me into tasting sweet.
But do sugar alcohols like affect the insulin levels the same? Would it affect your insulin response the same as it would if you had regular sugar?
Not the same, but there's other things than just being, fat. Like there's things like
there's less to life than being fat.
There's plenty more things that can make you sick and make you feel bad than just being overweight. And sugar alcohols, I think they're one of the worst things for your gut. Like if you have gut issues, very few people can tolerate sugar alcohols. And that's been my experience eating those. Is
high fructose corn syrup too.
Yeah, you're not gonna get fat eating them probably, but you're gonna have some distress.
Yeah.
In other ways.
I think that's not one of my concerns, but one of the things I don't care about with certain diets is maybe they're based on a good intention, but some of the products that come out that technically follow the guidelines aren't providing any more real benefit than the alternative. So like those bars or whatever, or when you see something that says it's labeled now as keto friendly, but it's loaded with something else that you shouldn't be eating in that kind of quantity. Because keto can lean really heavily on the dairy side of things as an acceptable fat. And I think you'll attest to this. There's almost no food consumption or diet out there that really advocates consumption, much less high consumption of dairy. It's kind of one that's always put in the consume in moderation that has any legitimacy in like a longevity type of lifestyle. And so with keto, with these sugar alcohols or the dairy, they end up using that as like a main ingredient. And I know we're going to see more of that come out, and then people are going to have a lot of the same problems that they always do. Why isn't this working, or why do I still feel like shit, or whatever? And in truth, they just got to get back to the natural whole ingredients of real foods. But they sure do taste good in a pinch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely in the ice age, for sure.
Yeah. Are we entering an ice age?
No, we're not.
Is it coming?
I don't know. I just quit thinking about that shit.
Feels pretty good here.
Right?
Don't be
soaking
fooled,
up
man.
the
Don't be fooled.
the vitamin D. Zach, help our listeners, because I can never remember. Let's describe the power intensity of the sun from sunrise to sunset, why we can look at it in the morning and why we can kind of look at it at night, the color temperature. You able to speak to that a minute of what's happening? Do you remember the numbers behind it?
What you get from the sun in the morning, or?
Yeah, because the color temperature is changing because what is present, what's not present, versus at noon, versus at the end of the day.
So tell me, is this true if you start making melatonin when the sun comes up, and then you use it at night, right? So then why do you just like supplement melatonin at night? You know, because if you've already made it during the day.
How about you completely hijack my first question and confuse him?
My bad.
To answer that though, I would say anything.
This is a selfish question. I want to know.
I just don't want to confuse him.
Anything that you make endogenously that is naturally inside your body, typically you're not supposed to supplement or you become reliant on it. The clearest example would be like testosterone. If you take testosterone, like there's a period where you go off of it if you quit, and you're not going to be making as much as normal, and you have to kind of go through a withdrawal period. And the same thing with melatonin. Like you can take it and it instantly becomes active, but from then on you're going to be increasingly reliant on it the more you take it. So if you keep a dose small and use it in specific situations, like if you're going to go on a road trip or something, there's certain ways that Dr. Kruse has talked about. You can take it at very specific times to sort of like simulate a sleep cycle. Like I should be secreting melatonin right now. So you can kind of like ease into fixing jet lag if you use it pretty strategically. But I would say in general, you're supposed to just wake up and look at the sun. And that's when your melatonin is created. But then when the actual secretion starts, when you start using it, is later on after the sun's gone down. And in theory, you have your blue blocking glasses on and you're blocking out light at night. So
Nice. Well, thanks for answering that for me. I was super confused about that.
What to the color temperature? I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I mean the basic idea behind it is the red light is much more soothing and easy to look at, which is why in sunrise and sunset the color temperature is much more warm. And if you look up in the middle of the day, like at noon, the light's going to be very blue and harsh. And this is something that you kind of know instinctively. Like if you look at a campfire, there's a lot of red, there's a lot of orange, some yellow mixed in. It's a very warm lighting that you want to look at, as opposed to, say, if you're sitting inside like a fluorescent room, that harsh lighting that kind of keeps you like squinting. So we know this, that your eyes don't enjoy a harsh blue lighting, and you enjoy looking at something that's warm, like a candle or firelight or anything that's red.
And there's no UV present at sunrise and sunset?
Well, there's always, because the sunlight is a natural, like continuous spectrum, there's always some present.
Right.
It's always a ratio of how much is present. It's never just one part. but it's about how much is there increasingly throughout the day is going to change. So there's very, very little present in the morning at night, to the point where it's not signaling to your body that there's UV present, basically.
Is it different, like in the middle of the day, different UV rays? Isn't there like A's and B's, and or, you know, like, so at, like in the morning it'd be a different UV than in the afternoon? Or
It's more about the intensity of the
intensity.
UV.
They're always this.
There's UVA, B, and he said there's C, but we don't really hear too much about that one.
Cause I was listening to one thing that Kruse was on, and he was saying how like after 10 o'clock or something in the morning, like you probably shouldn't look at the sun anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and that's when the UV is present enough where it starts to be somewhat damaging to your eyes.
okay.
And when you do that, like he's fine with sun gazing, but you're not supposed to look directly at the sun.
Right.
He would give you like a certain breakdown of like the sun is at this color temperature at this time. Like you should be this many degrees off if you're gonna do it. Like where it is right now, that's already pretty uncomfortable. Like if I was gonna sun gaze right now, I would be like looking at the dunes over there.
Yeah.
And you're letting in probably a sustainable amount of light where it's not gonna do any damage, but you could, you know, you can get some good benefit from getting all that in your eye at the same time.
Nice. I always just try it though. I'm always looking. I'm like, go above the. I don't know how you don't wear a hat though, because like I noticed
When
right now.
forgot it.
What? No, you've never worn it. I've never seen you wear a hat, but when it helps like right now,
Consistently
you know.
forget it.
Yeah.
But then
I was
I always
actually
go.
kinda
I always
jealous of
go
your
up
hat.
above the bill, and I'm like, I just want to see it. You know.
Well, you get used to
Try
it
it
too.
out.
You definitely get used to it. Like
Yeah.
there's the best example I can think of is that there's people that work beach chairs out on the beach, and there's people that wear sunglasses every day, and you know they take them off for a half second, and their eyes are like burning
Right.
from the sand. But if you do it every day, you develop a certain tolerance to it.
Right.
And in that case, tolerance is good because that's, you know, it's natural. We didn't
Right.
evolve wearing sunglasses.
You didn't come out of your
Nature.
mama's vagina with sunglasses. That's a
you
phrase.
didn't.
That's what Dr. Kruse says all the time.
You didn't come out of your mom's vagina.
And then finish the sentence: wearing clothes, wearing sunglasses, wearing sunscreen. Yeah,
Well, damn, you can carry that
with a
you
cell
everywhere.
phone. Yeah.
Definitely not to say you fucking hate cell phones, man.
That's a good segue.
well-
5G towers are going up everywhere.
I wasn't-
Everywhere.
I wasn't ready.
Apparently, I know what I had to tell him. There's one even deeper in Point Washington.
Oh no shit.
Really?
Yeah, someone said they saw it on East Mitchell, which is the road on the bay, all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That noise.
That's super scary, man.
Interesting.
And I guess they're seeing them everywhere on 30A.
Mm-hmm.
5G
Propagating.
towers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't know their intentions, but they are assumed to be nefarious. Evil.
So, from my understanding, from my understanding of this is that the 5G also can carry different frequencies around it as well, and so like they can emit certain like frequencies to control crowds or minds or people. Like so, because your body would respond to the way that a certain frequency is or something, to where they can kind of triangulate even just like one person and give that one person only the type of frequency that make them simulate like a heart attack or something like a seizure.
Yeah.
So I heard they're using it for like fucking crowd
Control.
Yeah, crowd control and stuff.
Or
like
they'd have
that.
the potential for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that other people mention that as well.
Crazy, dude.
They have some like military technology where, you know, there's a unit that's mounted on top of a Humvee that's emitting that frequency that's made for like crowd control and dispersal, where, you know, it's used passively. Like they can just aim it at a crowd of people and they're all gonna feel like shit and just instantly just feel like out of it and low energy.
Yeah.
And I've heard the argument made that that's better than having, you know, like a riot squad of police. Like that's actually a good way to disperse a crowd. And that's definitely an argument that could be made. But at the same time, this is something that, you know, it's gonna be on every block in every city. So it's like it's a lot of power just at the flip of a switch.
Yeah.
And Kruse has talked about how 5G is very hackable, and that's something that he's worried about. And I would say he's a pretty libertarian person.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how he's identified himself. But even he was saying he wants to make that a government thing and not something that's just owned by AT&T and Verizon. Like it's that powerful of a technology where he thinks it should be federal to be more controlled and to have like military funding behind that to have it protected from us. Yeah.
Protect us from ourselves, dear government.
I heard that if you have too many of those like Wi-Fi things in your house, as far as like a Alexa or like a Wi-Fi fridge or whatever,
you're gonna feel sick.
All of those things, if you have them in too close of a proximity of each other, and there's a 5G frequency coming in your house that they catch on fire, and then somehow your house burns from the inside out. Like if you were walking by, you would never know that your house just got burnt by 5G, but it's like, and there's like evidence that'll show, be like, okay, this was a 5G fire caused by 5G, because it's so hot. Like apparently in the bottom of those towers they have like these cooling fans, because it runs so hot, and if those fuck up, then it just catches on fire.
That makes sense, because remember he was talking, well, it was in one podcast I heard early on, so I don't remember how far back the podcast it was. He was talking about the forest fires out on the West Coast and how certain areas burnt crazy. Cars melted. Trees didn't become burnt because they were grounded.
Yeah.
And he described it
as a textbook electrical fire.
Yeah.
Is exactly how it would have been. And according to him, a lot of that is like they've been testing the 5G, because 5G, it's not just an increase in like bandwidth, it's an increase in like the frequencies. So if you go home and like connect to your Wi-Fi, you'll see like maybe two, like one's like a 2.5 gigahertz, one's a 5 gigahertz. The 5G, I forget the exact numbers, but it's like, it's from 5 like all the way up to like 100. And so what they've kind of been doing is just testing out different frequencies to see like what can we safely use in public, what can we not safely use in public. And one of the earliest things they were doing while testing was in New York City. And people were like driving down the road and getting like static shocks from touching certain things. Like there's documented cases of people like stepping on a manhole cover with like bare feet, like homeless people, and getting like shocked wirelessly from that. And so I think
insane, man. Those
are the types of things that they've tested, and they've kind of like dialed it back, because if that's something that's common, then they're not gonna be able to like roll out the technology if people are just getting shocked everywhere. Like people are gonna ask questions. I think Kruse had even talked about having to be careful at a gas pump if those frequencies are in the air, because like they could just spark as you're filling up your tank.
Right.
They already give warning of not being on your cell phone at a gas pump with lower bandwidths.
Yeah, and obviously I don't think that that's gonna like make it past all the testing. I think the places where the technology is turned on at this point, I think they've eliminated those frequencies for now. Like they're shut off, which is why you don't hear about like people exploding in Indianapolis where there's 5G. Like at every gas station. Like they don't.
Lost another one today.
They don't want people to just be destroyed by this technology. Like
they would cover that shit up quick.
I do think that the main driving force is the profit incentive and all the money to be made behind this. I don't think the number one priority is like any type of population control or conspiracy. The optimist in me would say that's definitely the case.
That's a good way to be, man.
Yeah.
The pessimist in me would say you're already brainwashed. I'm picturing, remember in Men in Black, when they do something no one's supposed to see it, that clean squad comes in, they remove everything, they do that zapper on people for their memory. It's like, maybe we're not that far away from that. Nothing to see here.
They had it going on there. They knew what was going on.
Best we can do is just keep coming out here to the beach.
There we go.
Grounding ourselves. I didn't mean to jump topics so dramatically, but there was a foothold to get to 5G, and folks I've been talking to that are aware of it were certainly not pleased at the notion of the towers being put in down here.
So like when they put up a tower, I heard they did this in Europe, that because they have to have the 5G out for like a certain month. I think it might be January of this year. Next year, I guess it would be.
There's like a
2020, but like so they're like putting them up like quick because they need to get them up for like I don't know, whatever. But like
the money runs out or something.
They have to have it up because it was like they said they would have it up or something. But anyway,
Yeah.
so like there's like these like 100-year-old trees that are like in the way, and then so since it's a 5G tower, they'll just come in there with these like big ass trucks, and they'll just clear cut like your whole road of these like massive ass trees that have been there for a long time, and people were getting pissed off because they'll come home from work and like all these trees are gone. Like, oh my god! So
Which is crazy because cities were always hell bent on no one's allowed to cut trees.
Not for 5G though, man.
Right? Like how powerful of a incentive is there that suddenly just for what is perceived by the consumer a boost in productivity,
I know.
governments are bending over themselves to destroy their own.
And then the community got
habitat.
together and was like starting to like protest all this. So then they came out with the military.
With the crowd control.
You
They're
know,
like, "Oh, go back. Y'all go back
They came out
home.
with these guns.
I
and
don't
they
feel
just-
so good."
Military's posted up, ready to.
It's
know.
a little fucky.
Well,
Guess
I
we'll
heard the trains are gonna run on 5G too. So-
That's what's interesting is it's going to be everything. You know, there'll be a tower every couple hundred meters, and that'll be like your home internet, your home cable, self-driving cars, cell phones, smart everything with an RFID chip, and it will run on the same tower. And when everything is one network like that, everything's on one central hub, everything can kind of be in communication with everything. So like, you know, from your car, you'll be able to like talk to the other parts of your home. Like your home will know, your smart home will know like when your car pulls into the driveway, and it will like unlock for you. Like there's so many things in the future that are unforeseen like that. So many industries that will spawn with everything being on one unified network. So it's a cool technology at the same time that it's like very sketchy in terms of like what the health effects will be.
And I mean, I'm gonna play the other side here. If the health danger is as we perceive it to be, these benefits of the connectivity seem, for me, unnecessary. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of people are we that now we would require that my door becomes unlocked 30 seconds before I get there? Like, what is it we are achieving as a race or as a species by accomplishing, you know, the elimination of these trivial tasks just to have a computer program lighten the load for us?
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy into that. I'd rather, you know, obviously with Caveman, I want to go the other direction, get back in touch with nature. Like the opposite of that is more of what defines us as a species, you know? How do we become more people focused with each other than, shoot, did the coffee pot start? The toast is automatically being made, the door's unlocked.
Yeah.
Robo Robbie took the dog for a walk. Oh wait, it's a robot.
Robbie.
It's a robot dog. Oh, I have a robot wife. You know, like, what is the end goal with all of it? I think most of us as a consumer don't look past the next gadget that comes out, and there's this marginal benefit, which in the moment seems cool, but it's like, well, where's it going with all that? Again, this is juxtaposed with the potential health risks with it. Like if there was no health risk, and you're like, literally, this wireless technology works without impacting your health at all, I'd be like, okay, cool. If some people want to adopt it, for sure, but it certainly shouldn't be rolled out in such a way where it becomes mandated to any extent. I mean, that's very anti-libertarian to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not a Luddite, but you know, I still jerk off manually.
You don't have a flashlight? Or a flashlight?
That's kind of,
Fleshlight.
I mean, no, I don't. But I don't know if
Get one,
that's not manual. I meant there's no robotic arm in place. Yeah.
Fucking Robo Robin.
Fuck these black flies, just
Hey.
as
Yeah.
they're a proud sponsor today, the biting black fly.
yeah.
We need some 5G in here to keep the flies away.
Right.
Get it turned on. It's annoying.
Whitney Cummings has a robot. Did y'all see that shit?
Who?
Whitney Cummings, the comedian. No?
Don't.
She made a sex robot for her husband, of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's a technology that's inside of the robot that make these robot heads that she can communicate, she can carry on conversations, super weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, it looks just like her. She brings it out on stage now and does comedy for her, with her.
Who's funnier?
That's interesting.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's like what the fuck am I watching? You know, like.
Yeah.
It's got an Instagram. It's called. The name is Bear Claw of the.
Cool name though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, she keeps it in the house, and when she goes out of town, her husband's just there alone with it. Like,
Dude's got to get out and hang out with people.
Fucking stick it in the garage because it starts talking to like the lawnmower and shit. So it's like,
I've heard
bring it back inside. Can't put it in the closet because it's like you feel empathy for
Making
it.
margaritas at 3 in the morning. God
man.
damn it! Easy on the salt.
I've heard one of the hardest things for them to engineer is like a robot, like the face. Like apparently humans are very good at like detecting if there's just something like slightly off with like facial features.
Right.
And like if something's not quite right.
Right.
We've seen that like in Hollywood now. They like if an actor is like sick or something and like
What they do to
misses-
Denzel in that one movie?
Yeah,
Made him
they
like
can,
20 years younger.
Yeah, but even then, like the best technology that's there for that now, like you can sometimes kind of pick up on like that doesn't look quite right.
Well, the thing is, when they were making the robot face or whatever, like the thing is, it has to be like not perfect. You have to have like an eye that's lower, or you know, like small. Because if it's too perfect, then you pick up and you're like, that's not human. You're too perfect.
Looks like an Instagram filter
Yeah.
in real life.
Your eyes aren't that big, are they?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see where it goes.
Well, we went to a couple different topics there, but
Yeah, totally.
Before
I'm
we-
getting distracted by the biting black flies.
I see that.
That's why I'm jumping topics.
I made sure to eat a lot of garlic and onions last night. Keep them away.
So that I wouldn't make out with you?
Apparently, girls are attracted
working.
to the sweat of a man after they have eaten garlic.
Not the breath, but the
The
sweat?
sweat. Just
Really?
like you eat a bunch of garlic and then start sweating, and then they just.
Stench.
I cannot
Stop
say
coming,
that has
bro.
been proven in my case.
So I should just eat a bunch of garlic and not wear deodorant. Just go out in
Yes.
public,
Yeah.
get extra sweaty, hit the sauna, and just flaunt. Just
Yeah.
walk around like this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
I'll give that a try.
That was from just fucking Dave Asprey's Bulletproof Radio shit. Believe him or not, I don't know.
Marketing guru.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Meanwhile,
He
that's
can He can sell some shit.
that's just another
quit.
bruise by Big Garlic.
I quit fucking listening to that because it made me want to buy all of his products. You know?
Right? I don't know if I've ever purchased any of his stuff.
Dude,
With coffee?
I
Anything?
have.
Mm-mm.
I don't buy the coffee too much. You know, his coffee. Alma Vita's right down the road. I mean, some of the best coffee I ever had.
What are you making?
Just flattening out the area. This is like volleyball. This is what
Are
everybody
you a
does.
flat earther?
Flat beacher. I think the beach is all flat. Look at it.
Florida's all flat.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just search on Facebook, Graydon Beach Volleyball.
You gotta sign up.
Just join the Facebook group.
Show up. You guys play what? Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays?
It's pretty much every Monday and now Thursday. It used to be Wednesday, but now they have kickball. So Monday, Thursday at 5 is pretty much guaranteed. And then like once or twice on weekends, Saturday or Sunday, we'll probably set up.
Just out here.
Yeah.
That's nice, man.
You any good?
No, not really, but I can play.
You got the height for it.
Well, you know, I got the fundamental skills.
Oh, that's
But
good. That's
like,
good enough for out here.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm moving faster to get to where I need to be because I didn't set up my shots correctly. I feel like I'm like one of those cartoons where their legs are running real fast.
Right,
It's
they're
like-
not really
but-
moving yet.
Right, because you can just play volleyball and kind of stand in the general area because you're so good at hitting it to where it needs to go. You know, or just being there. But like, I'm just like running all over the place.
We
That's
play a
my
lot
problem.
of twos. A lot of twos out here where you have to be moving. quite a
Right.
bit.
Well, I'm down.
Yeah, it's a good time. People are competitive. Like it's a lot of athletic guys, and then the girls that can keep up are like girls that played like college volleyball.
So they're good.
So they're pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
We were just, I don't know, we don't know where the video cut off. Our AV guy's gonna catch hell for this one. But we were discussing coffee and tea.
Maybe there'll be a day that you're just interviewing people, and then I get worried about the camera.
We need your questions right now. It's a team effort.
It is a team effort. Always is.
I'm totally bringing a hat next time. This is ridiculous.
You wanna wear mine? I just got it. Brand new.
What is it? Like, what's it promoting? Trees?
Trees, yeah. You might need to make it bigger though. I have a small head.
It fits. It's tight.
Tuck your hair in though.
Back. Should go behind the shoulder.
Now, when you
Behind
came
the
out the
back.
vagina, were you wearing that hat?
Not this one specifically. It
No.
was an Adidas low visor bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
You must have been born Eastern European. Did you have your Adidas tracksuit on as well?
Yeah, matching. I came out pretty naked.
Mhm.
Yeah, still attached.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about coffee and tea. Tea has l-theanine in it, and how I've been housing massive quantities of it
Mm-hmm.
and feeling good, but not switching to coffee. Distinct difference in the focus and I would even say like anxiety when working in a office setting, for sure.
Mhm.
Tea is a way more balanced. I don't get the ups and downs and the crash, but I really prefer it for more of the tedious manual labor stuff.
Yeah, tea is excellent for that. The probably the biggest benefit of that is tea has been shown to kind of shut down the stress response from just about anything. So you get, you drink coffee and you get that jittery, like worked up
spike.
feeling. So you kind of have to balance the energy with the jitter from that. And so when you take those two together, you get the energy and you keep it, and you get a little sedation, relaxation from the theanine, and you kind of get the best of both.
That's what the
Which is
butter's
nice.
supposed to do in the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mix the butter in there,
Mhm.
as your body's breaking it down, it's like it's got a slow drip of caffeine
Mhm.
because it's kind of just like, what is it called, like fucking your metabolic shit.
Is it binding with it, and then we
It
can't
binds
absorb it
with
as quickly?
And then as you digest it, it kind of just like slow releases it, so it's
Mhm.
not a bam caffeine.
It's like
punch.
giving yourself a time release,
Mhm.
whereas usually we would take the time release pills and bust them open so
Crush
we
'em
got it all at
open.
once.
Yeah. Exactly.
The theanine's great though. You can buy like a big bag of it in bulk and just like scoop a spoonful of it.
Yeah,
As my girlfriend will sometimes do, and she'll like scoop an entire thing, just put like a giant scoop in like coffee in the morning. And I've definitely had some before where she put in too much, and I was just like too relaxed almost. Like, right?
you said you call that a ninja dose?
Yes.
An
She ninja
unsuspecting
dosed me.
dose of anything?
Ninja does.
Yeah. Like, I ninja dosed 4 tabs of acid in your coffee earlier.
I wish you would have. I ain't got shit to do today except for make videos.
Oh, man.
So
I'm sorry I
made some
didn't
trip
follow
hazard
through
videos
on
today.
tricking you into
I wish
psychedelic
you
for 8
Gotcha.
hours.
Free drugs. Joke's on you.
We can talk about this more at another session, Zach, but I do want to go through supplements with you for sure. How to use them, all of them that you've kind of fooled around with. But that's why I kind of led in with the tea and the l-theanine. But you and I, which one do we just use? Some oxytocin?
Oxytocin.
We inhale some oxys.
Nasal spray.
Yeah. So oxytocin is...
They call it the love hormone. And it makes you much more trusting of people, which is interesting.
Is it what's released in massive quantities when someone gives birth?
Yes. Yeah. It's the love hormone, it's the bonding hormone, it's the trust hormone. That like warm, cuddly feeling you get. Like when you cuddle a dog too, that's cute. That's oxytocin.
So Tom and I,
Yeah.
huge
Lots.
oxy release.
Lots of oxy going on.
Yeah.
I like Oxy. Tosin.
Yeah. So he got it Amazon Prime in a nasal inhalant. Took a couple rips. We were at first wondering, will we be stimulated? Will this be too much? Within an hour, it was quickly proven, no, very sedating, very calming, relaxing. To sum it up, he was laying on the floor, I was laying on the couch, and he remarked, I can hear how comfortable I am in how you're talking. Is that what you said? I can feel how comfortable I am in how you're talking right now, in your own voice. And I was like, yeah.
Was
So-
that this morning?
No, it was like a week
no.
ago.
Oh, say, damn, y'all got up early just to
Yeah.
be snorting some Oxy. Tosin.
Inhaling.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just breathing it in.
Then we had the red light going too.
Oh yeah, he's got a
The
Juve.
warming. The
Oh, you got a
warming
Juve?
red light?
We had all the lights off.
Nice.
The Juve is got a little IR, really bright red light. Amazing thing to have on at night in your house if you need any light. Very, very bright, but all red. And you can even point it right at your thyroid for some intensive healing session.
Some targeted treatment.
Yeah. What's it doing when you're pointing it at your thyroid?
So red is considered like the healing and regenerative frequency of light. It's very healing and soothing to the body. So when you're only getting that, I mean, you can feel it. Like you look at it with your eyes and you kind of get that sense that like this is very like warm and inviting and healing. And you know, the UV is the opposite end of that spectrum where it's very intense. And there's good things from that too. Like you get the vitamin D from the UV light. But the red is like the warm, restorative, the healing part. But you know, Kruse would tell you those nanomotors that are inside every mitochondria that are spinning and providing energy. Like you hit with the red light, and those are spinning quicker in whatever tissue you're hitting with that red light.
And that's creating its own magnetic field. Everything that spins. All right, we're gonna conclude right now. I'm getting ate the fuck up. I'm probably looking all jittery. Like he really did some oxys. They're gonna say. No, oxytocin, kids. Go to Amazon. Blame Bezos if you want to blame anyone. He's the root of all evil here.